Once upon a time, in a land nestled amidst rolling hills and quiet forests, stood a serene Buddhist monastery. The air hummed with the gentle chants of monks, and within its walls lived a wise old monk named Tenzin. Tenzin was known throughout the region for his ability to bring peace to troubled hearts. One day, a young girl named Anya arrived at the monastery. Her village had been plagued by a long drought, leaving the fields barren and the people anxious and irritable. Anya had a fiery spirit, and her family's struggles had caused her to become short-tempered and easily frustrated. Her parents, knowing of Tenzin's wisdom, sent her to learn the ways of patience and inner peace. Anya was met at the gates by Tenzin himself. He saw not a troublesome child, but a spirit in need of guidance. With a warm smile, he said, "Welcome, little one. The path of peace is open to all who seek it." Thus began Anya's stay at the monastery. Her days were filled with chores, meditation lessons with Tenzin, and quiet contemplation. At first, she found the stillness oppressive. She was accustomed to her bustling village life, filled with the cries of vendors and the chatter of the marketplace. In the monastery, silence reigned supreme, broken only by the soft gongs or whispered sutras. One morning, Anya was tasked with sweeping the courtyard. She set to work listlessly. Tenzin observed her from afar, sensing her growing impatience. Tenzin approached her, a twinkle in his eye. "Anya," he said, "just as these leaves are stirred by the wind, so too is your spirit stirred by your anger. They are both natural forces, but neither need dictate your actions." Anya looked at the scattered leaves, then back at Tenzin, confusion creasing her brow. "But master, how do I stop the wind from blowing?" The monk chuckled softly. "You cannot stop the wind, child, any more than you can stop your heart from feeling anger. But just as a sturdy tree remains unmoved by the breeze, you can learn to remain steady amidst the storms of your emotions." From that day forward, Tenzin began teaching Anya the practice of mindfulness. "Feel the anger rise within you," he would say, "but see it as you would a passing cloud. Do not cling to it. Do not let its shadow consume you." Each meditation session brought Anya a little closer to understanding. She started noticing her triggers: the grating voice of another novice in the kitchen, the sting of chores left undone, the persistent ache of hunger in her belly. With each awareness came a choice: to react in her old ways, or to pause, breathe, and acknowledge the feeling without being swept away by it. One particularly hot afternoon, Anya was fetching water from the well. The bucket felt unbearably heavy, and the rope cut into her palms. Frustration flared within her, threatening to boil over. But then she thought of Tenzin's gentle teachings. Closing her eyes, she took several deep, restorative breaths. The tightness in her chest eased, and when she opened her eyes again, she was able to carry the water back to the monastery with a less begrudging heart. As the weeks passed, a change came over Anya. The fiery outbursts waned, replaced by a calmer, more reflective demeanor. Though the anxieties around the drought still plagued her family and village, her own spirit was finding a tranquil center. One day, Tenzin called Anya to his chamber. "You have learned much, young one," he said. "It is nearly time for you to return to your village." Anya felt a pang of sadness mixed with excited anticipation. "But master," she asked, "will I be able to stay calm when I'm home, surrounded by the difficulties and frustrations again?" Tenzin smiled. "The lessons you have learned here are like seeds planted within you. They will continue to grow stronger, even in challenging soil. Remember, peace is not the absence of storms, Anya. It is the ability to stay rooted even when the winds howl." With a grateful heart, Anya bowed and started her journey home. When she reached her village, she was greeted by faces lined with worry and strain. But instead of being consumed by her own frustrations as before, Anya became a quiet force for peace. Her newfound calmness was contagious. She reminded her neighbors of the importance of breath when their tempers flared. She showed them how to savor simple acts of kindness as a balm to their anxiety. Slowly, a subtle shift rippled through the community. Though the drought persisted for many more months, the people bore it with greater resilience, finding strength in the unity Anya had helped to foster. And so, the young girl with a fiery spirit, who had traveled to a quiet monastery in search of peace, returned to find that the seeds of peace had always resided within her. In tending to her own heart, she had sown peace across her land.